Hello, Miss Yan. Are you here? Can you hear me? Hello, Miss Yan. Oh, Mr. Yan. Hello. Good. Hey, nice to see you. Thank you for showing up to the meeting. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we do have a quorum. We have present at the meeting representing Building J1. The Trammels are both here. We also have Building K. Miss Shafiq is our Miss Rashida is here. Then we have Mac from Building M is here. And then we have Mr. Yan representing Building N is also here. So we have over 33% here, probably about 36% represented. So we can actually have this quorum, we can get this meeting started. So did everybody receive all the documents that we had for the meeting? We have the agenda, which we'll be following through here, the agenda. And then we have the income statement here. And then we had the first amendment to all of the bylaws here. And then we had the budget here, right? The budget, the proposed budget for 2024. So let's go ahead and get started first. I'd like to go ahead and get started. Well, we call it to order. We do have a quorum. Let's review the income statement because that actually kind of answers a lot of questions right off the bat. Hold on just a moment. We have another late person coming in. Mr. Brad
Mr.
Bonner.
Lam,
Yes,
can you resend the documents? Because my husband said we didn't receive them.
you did not receive them. Sure. Hold on just a
Okay.
moment. Hello, Mr. Bonner.
Yan，
Hey, hello there. Which are you representing Building P?
那啥，building P 那个 P 楼 building P 那个楼。
No. Mr. Bonner, are you representing Building P?
Yes, I'm representing Building P.
Great. You're the only person I didn't recognize the name to. That's what I figured there. If you could just put yourself on mute, people, just for just a moment. I want to send Mrs. Shafiq the documents here. Ms. Shafiq, what is your email address that you would need me to send it to? Is this
Can you send it? Should I text it to you or just tell you?
hold on, just let me see which ones I have, which email I have for you first here. Let's see, Shafmun3300 at Yahoo. Will that work?
That's correct.
Okay, I'll go ahead and send it to you right now. Sorry for the delay, guys. We'll get started very shortly here. Agenda. Budget.
Is it possible for you to send it to me also?
Who is it? What's the email address?
520
Uh-huh.
rsm@gmail.com.
Anybody else need it? Sending it out there now. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started here. Like I said, I want to try to keep this meeting as quick and painless as possible for everybody. We all have places we have to be, I'm sure. So, okay. So let's go ahead and get started first with the from the beginning of the agenda, which would be the review of the income statement. That's sort of the meat and potatoes of the meeting. So if you guys want to pull up the income statement here, we first start with our income for the property. You can see here that we ended up through the association income of $81,104.19. We had a couple of late fees through the year, which ended up about $635. And we have one initiation fee during the year. The initiation fee is when there's a transfer of the title from one owner to another one. We charge them an initiation fee. That was actually Building P with Mr. Bonner over here. So they had a total operating income of the year at $83,427.37. Does everybody see that there? Not really any questions on that. One of the good things about this is that we actually even contributed to the we started a capital reserve account last year with only $2,000, but that's somewhere to get started because we should really be contributing to that for our major larger items of repair that are definitely coming up. Another thing that I like to mention is that there are no delinquencies at the property. Everybody's paid in full, everybody is current, so that's very good. Thank you all. Congratulate yourselves for that. Some of the other associations that we manage, actually, this is we have 12 associations. This is probably the only one, maybe another one that is completely current in their due. So congratulations on that, and thank you very much. If you want to start moving down here, moving down the list on the income statement for last year, you can see that most of our costs here are on landscaping. Landscaping, we spent last year $20,000 for 70. I mean, it's a large property, lots of landscaping to do over there, and it's quite a bit to maintain, but that's how much it cost there. And in terms of the cleaning and the maintenance, it was $3,600. That was actually for building P as well. I know that this last year, the previous year, we had mentioned that the exterior of the properties would be the responsibility of the owners. But this repair was actually a leak that was actually promised to them during the year that we were still doing exterior repairs for the properties. So we actually reimbursed him $3,600 for a leak that was coming from his upstairs into his downstairs. So with the cleaning and the maintenance portion of the property, we ended up spending $24,345. If we're moving down a little bit more, the next biggest cost that we have, or actually this is probably a little bit larger than our landscaping cost, is our property insurance. And this is an expense that is actually, hold on, we have two more people that are wanting to get into the meeting here. Hold on just one moment. Let me let them in the meeting. Ms. Robin Rogers. So in terms of the property insurance, as I said, and this is a cost that is actually going up. I don't know if you have read the news at all, but it looks like the insurance companies are actually kind of bleeding quite a bit lately through, I don't know what the issue is, but I expect this fee to actually probably increase even more as we probably more so than we expected to in the coming years. But last year we spent $21,012.75 on the property insurance. Moving to the back side of the page, the other fees that we are listing here are going to be the legal fees. Legal fees from last year were just pretty much the preparation of our amendments to our bylaws. Well, we all have voted last year to actually update our bylaws to actually match the way that we're doing our business. We're really supposed to, well, previously we were supposed to meet like in person for these meetings, but through technological advances, I think that we should update the bylaws to actually keep us up to date with the advances that we can use for these meetings, like Zoom. Moving forward here, accounting was $1,000 from last year. That was just pretty much just preparing all the taxes. So in terms of professional fees for the legal and the accounting fees from last year, it was $2,093.50. Management fees, that's us, $1,000 a month, $12,000. Vendor discounts, I think that was just a $15. I just kind of misplaced this expense there, but it was a vendor discount. I think that was probably a fee for one of our vendors to maybe make a cleaning that we had at the property, some garbage pickup or something. In terms of the repairs that we had, there was a repair of $2,055.38. And let me see where that actual charge was from. $2. That fee was for, that was the biggest construction. Oh, that was Goodman Properties. It looks like another, that was actually part of the exterior leak repairs in building P. So moving down a little bit further in terms of the electricity at the property, $2,400, 2493.03 was the electricity spent on last year. Pest control, we had, actually the pest control is only $2,000 a year, but we just kind of paid it a little bit early this year in February instead of March. So that's $2,000 for termite bond for the property. And in terms of other materials, it was $148.87. Total expenses from last year are $68,413.53, which gives us a net operating profit from last year of $15,000, 1384, which is quite a bit of a profit from last year, being is that, you know, we actually we placed a lot of the responsibilities on the exterior of the property on the individual owner last year. So that's why I think there was a large surplus last year, which normally it's going to be right at, you know, the amount or maybe just a little bit above our income of $81,000. And we'll go through that a little bit when we get into the budget. But like I said, we had $15,000 in net in profits last year. So moving forward from that, from the income statement, some other things that we actually helped with the property last year, we had the backflow testing for all the properties were completed except for Building N. I think Building N has actually scheduled theirs for later on this week. In terms of the pressure, oh, that's what it was. Oh, okay. I was wrong. On the income statement, that was at $3,600 in repairs, and I thought that was the reimbursement to Goodman Properties, but that wasn't. That was actually $2,000 that was reimbursed to Goodman Properties for that leak, and the $3,600 was for the pressure washing of the property last year. In terms of other things that we did last year was the mailbox organization. We'll go through that in just a little bit about how many mailboxes are being used, and actually it's not a lot of them, and who has mailbox keys and who doesn't have mailbox keys. We'll go through that in just a little bit. We also, the termite control for the property was $2,000. Updating the bylaws. We haven't paid the attorney in full yet. I think we still owe him about $1,500 for updating the bylaws. The capital reserve account. So total in the bank that we have as of today is $35,298.93. And as I said, a lot of that is a $15,000 profit or surplus that we had from last year because we weren't doing exterior maintenance for the owners. Part of the meeting today, we're going to ask like how much we should move into the capital reserve account. I know last year, since we had about $20,000, we moved about 10% of that into the capital reserve account. So if we were to do the same thing this year, about $3,500, we can move into the capital reserve account, giving us about $5,000, which isn't a lot, but you know, hey, we got to get started somewhere. So I think that would be a good idea. And last year we actually updated the monument signs. We removed some of the signs of the property or of the businesses that are no longer on the property. So now if you see a vacant spot on the monument sign, that's you know, free for any of your tenants to actually use. But we do ask that we only have one sign per tenant. So if you already have a sign up there, then let's not ask. Okay, let's just keep the signs that we have right now. In terms of next year. New order of business for next year. Eventually, I think the parking lot needs to be addressed. It's starting to get a little bit faded, a little bit old. Whenever I took over management and about 5 years ago, I guess it was 5-6 years ago, we actually went through a resealing and resurfacing.
Oh, I want
to mute you guys. Hold on just a moment. So yeah, I want to mute everybody because once you know, when you talk and everything, we can hear you. But if you do want to speak, make sure you hit the unmute button on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen there. So the parking lot will eventually need to be addressed. If we're talking about resealing the parking lot again, that's about $18,500 to reseal. Eventually we'll have to probably pull up all of the asphalt and, you know, fix up all of some of the concrete on the property. And we've gotten estimates of around $700,000 in terms of redoing the whole parking lot. The the right way, I guess, would be one way of looking at it. But like I said, that's a very, very expensive cost. So I don't know if that's going to be something that you all are willing to spend on. We probably have to get a special assessment if we were to go that route. Moving down a little bit further in terms of ratifying the new updated bylaws, did everybody get a chance? Just give me a thumbs up here. Did everybody get a chance to read the first amendment of the bylaws for the Calumet Business Park Condominium Association? Basically, what this is stating is that we're just trying to get our association caught up with the way that we're doing business. We're meeting via online means, and in the bylaws, it really states that we should all be like, meeting in person and things like that. So everybody just give me a thumbs up if you guys read that and think it's okay. If there's anything that you want to change on that. Mac is an attorney. I know he's not an association attorney or a real estate attorney, but you can what did you think about the I'm gonna let Mac talk a little bit here. What did you think about the bylaws? Did you read through them, and what did you think?
I think they're good. I'm familiar with not with Michael Levy, but I know the firm of Dura and Dura. And when I need advice on this kind of thing, they're the ones I call.
Great,
So
great.
we can rely on what they do here.
Perfect, perfect. So what we'll have to do here is we will have to meet with the board members, or actually the directors of the board after the meeting, the president and the secretary of the association, to actually get signatures. But as long as everybody can ratify this, we can have a vote now. We need 66% of the people here to actually ratify this bylaw. So just by giving us a thumbs up, does everybody vote yes? Or you want to vote no on this? Yes, yes, Miss Rogers, I see you there. Molly, y'all aren't on video, so if y'all want to unmute and just give us a yay or a nay on ratifying these new bylaws.
I'm sorry, but I do not see the button to hit the thumbs up.
Well, just give us
Been a while since I've been on Zoom. Can you
give
tell?
give us a yay then. Give us a yay or a
Yeah.
nay. If you don't like them, you can give us a nay. But like I said, it's just very simple paperwork. It's just basically just updating the bylaws so that we can meet just through technological means is basically what it's saying. So yay from Miss Robin Rogers. Molly, you give us a yay?
Yeah, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Trammell. How about you, Mr. Yan? Did you get a chance to read the bylaws, the new bylaws here that we sent out? This is basically just updating our current bylaws so that we can match the way that we're doing business. So, that now that we're meeting on Zoom and via text message and emails and things like that, that will be a legal way of making decisions for the association. I think it's just a pretty simple paperwork.
But you did say there was bylaws that will eventually come, which will be a big change, right?
Well, we did discuss about changing, and that's something we're going to talk about next. We did discuss making the exterior of the buildings the responsibility of the individual owner, but it's just that some of the buildings have multiple owners, so that made it a little bit like kind of just a difficult situation. So I think that we just have to keep the bylaws as is for now in terms of the maintenance of the exterior of the property. So we're going to keep the exterior, the HOA responsibility, except for the windows, the light fixtures on the exterior, the window framing, any signage on the exterior, any plumbing on the exterior, and any awnings on the exterior. So basically just like the facade, like the brick and the wood on the side of the buildings that we would be responsible for, and the roof, of course. But everything else, windows, light fixtures, window framing, signage, plumbing, and awnings would be the responsibility of the individual owner. That's kind of how we had it previous to making the well, we thought we could, or we thought it'd be an easy change to make it, everybody for themselves in terms of the exterior, but like I said, there's, a couple of buildings that have multiple owners, like the Trammels have Building J, which has 3 owners in it. So that's why we're gonna keep it that way. So that's how it is for right now. As I said, we'll have to meet with the board members. So I'm gonna get everybody, is there anybody opposed to this bylaws, to the new bylaws, updating them to where that we can meet in a technological manner and by emails, by text message and everything? If it is, let us know now. Otherwise, we're gonna say that everybody approves of the new bylaws, because we need 66% of the people here to approve it. So I guess we're all good, good. So then I guess the electronic communication is now accepted as a legal mode of communication and voting, making decisions on the property. Moving to the second page of the agenda. All right, so some of the new tenants have been complaining about the garbage bins all over the property. So if you know now, the garbage is sort of handled by individual owners, individual tenants at the property. But a lot of people, or pretty much everyone, is leaving the garbage bins outside on the sidewalks. And we have had some complaints about that. So we went ahead and we looked at an option of getting garbage dumpsters for the entire property. The cheapest or well, I'll just say that the least expensive vendor would be Republic. They handle a lot of our properties as well, and they are at $483 for a month for 2 times a week pickup. I think that's going to be probably our best option. Waste Management is a little bit more expensive, about $100 more expensive, and they have a delivery fee of about $1,000. So both companies, like I said, they're the same to me. So I always just choose whoever comes up with a better rate. So I think Republic would be the cheaper rate. Now, in terms of placing these dumpsters, if we do decide to go this route, in terms of placing these dumpsters, let me share my screen with you guys and show you the spot where I think. So I am sharing my screen now. Hold on just one second here. I had it all up and then I had to send you guys that email. Let's see. So you guys are seeing here, this is the property, right? Everybody see it? Yeah, give me a thumbs up. Everybody can see the property. The only place where I can see that where you can place like the dumpsters, if we were to go that route, would be over here. Does everybody see my cursor?
Yes.
Okay, good. So right there, I think, because actually our property line comes out to about right here. I checked to make sure that this was still our property. So our property line comes out to about right here and comes all the way down here. So if we were to put some dumpsters, I think we can put them over here, like 2 little dumpsters right there. And per code, to add dumpsters, you have to have a concrete pad and you have to add fencing around it. Just, just how code is. So right there, and that's a cost of about $4,500 if we were to add that, and then we have to add $500 a month, fee for the pickup here. Now, if we do put it over here, I'm sure we're going to have complaints with the people over here, right? Building K, they got to come all the way over here to throw their garbage away, right? Building N, all these buildings over here are probably not going to be happy about that, but that does solve our random garbage bin situation. I have been trying to, let me come back and stop sharing, come back to the screen. Everybody got me back here? Yeah. So if we do put it there, like I said, it's going to be I think we're going to get complaints anyways about people saying, oh, it's too far away or what have you. The other spots that we could put it, let me see, and pull up that screen back up again. The other place that we could put it, I mean, this green space right here is really pretty. I hate to sort of make this where the dumpster would be. You know what I mean? Just because that's kind of like one of the main thoroughfares that people are going to come into the place. Like whenever I come into the property, this is the way that I enter. And if you come entering into the property and you see, a couple of garbage dumpsters, that's not a very, that's just not very appealing, right? So I want to open it up to the board or let you guys talk about it a little bit. What have you guys heard from your tenants? What do you guys think about this? We've been trying to police the situation in terms of getting everybody to pull their garbage bins back, but nobody's doing it, and it's just going to be nobody's going to do it. There's areas for them and already, and people just leave them out. So I don't know what you guys are thinking about this. You guys can chime in now and unmute yourselves, and let's discuss this a little bit. What y'all think? Mr. Trammell, Ms. Robin?
So if you put it in this location, is there gonna be something in the bylaws that says they still cannot, now they won't be able to put the placement of the trash bins?
Well, I'm thinking if we have those, they're not going to. I mean, why would they want to spend the, $200 a month?
You'll
on-
be surprised. I mean, how many people still want to
Well,
do that? They're too lazy to walk over there. Excuse my French, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the issue that we're kind of like coming across here. Do we want to enforce this? Do we want to have a dumpsters, or do we want to sort of try to police it a little bit better? I don't know. Y'all tell me. What are y'all thinking about this? Matt?
He's unmuted.
We can hear you, Mr. Trammell. Come on in.
Well, I was just thinking, could we just maybe monitor it maybe another year and see if we can get more control on it? If not,
We'll
then
keep
maybe-
trying. We'll keep
Yeah.
trying, but I went over there and I went into I went into Miss Shafiq's dental office, and everybody gave me a big frowny face. They got to walk around and all this kind of stuff. I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah. And they did it that time. They did it for a week or two, and then they stopped doing it again. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like, I don't know. I mean, if we don't do it, the garbage bins will be out. We did have complaints about it. People will complain about that. If we do have it, if we do put it in the corner of the property, people will complain they got to go all the way over there. So
Yeah.
it's a tough situation. I'm not one to sort of spend, $5,000 building a new garbage area and then, $500 a month if we don't have to, you know?
Right.
But this is one of the biggest issues that we faced this last year.
What else can we do to get people to comply?
I mean,
Could we?
we can start finding people, you know what I mean? But
Well,
again,
maybe we
honestly,
should send it. Maybe we should send out a memorandum to tell them that's what we're going to do. And
honestly, if
see
we
if
do
that
start
works.
finding people, we're gonna have to find everybody. Everybody's doing it.
Okay.
But maybe that'll change it. We'll let the board decide kind of where we're gonna go, but maybe let's hold off on doing this until we can maybe start finding, maybe see see how that works.
Well, my question is, where would they put them?
Well, there's designated areas for their garbage bins. Let me pull back up the map of the property. And I'll show you where the bins are. So there's a little area right here for the bins. There's a little area right here for the bins. There's a little area between these two buildings for the bins. There's a little area underneath this building. There's a little area behind the clock tower, which is right here for the buildings. And that's pretty much it. And in terms of the number that we have, it's going to be pretty tight, if not impossible to keep, like, because I know whenever we drive by, if you drive through this little alleyway right here, there's probably about like 5 or 6, 7 of them right here against,
Probably 7.
I'm sorry?
Probably 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So all 7 of those aren't going to be able to fit in this area, I don't think. Maybe we can look at expanding this area a little bit. But I mean, it's a pretty, this is where the air conditioning goes, and that's where they used to put like the garbage bins over there. But, you know, it's just been kind of a hassle because, you know, people from over here in Building K, you can't walk down there. You gotta walk around to get to over there and put it in the bin, in the bin and walk all the way back around to the top to get back into Building K. So that's why they kind of leave theirs out right here. So, you know, it's an issue, but you know, we have had complaints about, you know, the unsightliness of the bins being out. But honestly, they've been kept pretty good condition. Like, you know, they don't really leave the garbage out. It's just, you know, the bins are shut and they're outside. I don't know, you know, how much of an eyesore that is compared to the amount of work it's going to be to walk around, throw the garbage away into a big dumpster. But anyways, we can discuss this with the board later. Just giving y'all a heads up, and that's what kind of the issue is right now with those. Let me come back to this screen. Okay, now going over to the mailboxes. So the mailboxes, I found that there are 23 unused mailboxes. Let me show you guys some of the actual picture of the mailbox here. Where's my... this top bar is in my way where I can't get to it. Hold on just a moment. All right, so y'all see this here, the mailbox picture? So 23 of these are not being used right now. We have talked with the with the USPS, and they're going to come out and we're going to actually get them to rekey. Most of these locks we're actually going to keep the ones that are being used. A lot of them are actually labeled, and we're going to actually label the ones a little bit better, put placards up on these ones that actually are being used that we know of, and then rekey those ones that aren't being used. Now, I know Building P, Mr. Bonner, I know that you don't actually even have any keys for the mailbox. Is that true? Mr. Bonner? And we actually have different units have different amount of keys. But we can start redistributing those keys to like match, you know, the number of tenants that you have, or actually just, you know, the number of mailboxes allotted to each building should be a little bit more, you know, even. Because right now, like I said, Building P doesn't have any. I think Building L only has one. Then
So you're talking about $644 just to rekey these. Why would we want to pay that when, you know, they may not be used? Why don't we just rekey them as they come available, as we need?
Dealing with the USPS is kind of a pain in the butt, and getting them to come out when we
Well,
want them
you
to.
don't have to use the UPS to do that. You can.
You do though with the USPS. If you get a locksmith, they won't touch it. You have to get them to do it. So I was just thinking, just save a trip. It's either that, or we can actually get a new mailbox, and we looked into that cost too, and get a new
No,
mailbox.
that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, that was about $5,000. So I was just like, hey,
Yeah.
just get there one time, get all the ones that we aren't using rekeyed, and we can actually redistribute them as we have, and then we'll actually have a spare as well to the ones that are new. But we have 23 that aren't being used. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of them that are being used. So we have more that aren't being used than are being used. So I didn't think that was a big cost, you know, to get it rekeyed as opposed to getting a new mailbox. So moving on a little bit further on, if you will move to the next thing, next item of business for next year is the backflow testing. So we did for a while there have it a responsibility of the HOA, but then it kind of got a little bit hairy and a little bit, people didn't know what was going on, because of the failed tests. But I think now that we actually had, the company is called Georgia Backflow Testing Company, LLC. We actually set up a deal with them to where they can actually check all of them for us. And then we can actually bill, any kind of repairs or whatever to the individual, owner. That's not like, and I think that we do it because if we get everybody all together, or if we do it as a HOA, it's actually a little bit less expensive. I think they're charging us, $900 for 23 backflow testing meters, or whatever, what it is. So I think it ends up being a little bit less than $50 per test. And I think that's sort of like the normal cost of, getting the backflow testing done. So if everybody agrees, then I think we can make that back, responsibility HOA. Like I said, we have a pretty good relationship with them now, so we can actually get it done reasonably and quickly. But in terms of, the failed test, then we will, bill that out to the individual owner. If you guys are okay with that, we can move forward with that. If not, give me a thumbs down. You can unmute and let us know what your thoughts are on that. I think it's pretty good that we move forward with the HOA, responsibility for the backflow testing. Anybody opposed? Okay, good. So I think everybody's cool with that. So now that we decided, or that we really can't make the, exterior a individual owner issue, and that this is back to a HOA issue, we'll get back to the yearly painting, exterior painting of each building. So we didn't paint any of the buildings last year. That was the first year that, in my tenure, that we haven't painted any of the exteriors of the building. So each year before then, I try to paint at least, one of the buildings, and usually it was like 2 of the buildings each year. And I'll go back in my records and I'll see which building hasn't gotten painted, and we'll start that, process again, next year. Yearly pressure washing, I think that's just, that is needed with every property just to keep it nice and clean. Yearly gutter cleaning, of course, that's also, something that, is covered through, the HOA as well. Now let's review the budget. So everybody has this new budget. That should be like the last page of the, documents that I sent everybody. And we can go through some of the costs there for the, 2024 proposed budget. Landscaping at the top, that shouldn't change too much. I just used the number from last year. Our landscaper is excellent. He does all my properties and he's always very, very reasonable. That shouldn't change for next year. So we kept that the same at, $1,503.08 per year. Management fee won't change for next year. Professional fees for the filing the taxes won't change. That's $1,000. Termite control, we want to keep that, for the property at $2,000, for the property. Now, these next 2 costs are, renovation improvements, repairs, and maintenance, sort of like the same thing. Like renovation improvements, I'm thinking that's kind of like along the lines of like, new garbage cans or just something new to the property that we can do to improve it. Maintenance and cleaning is sort of like, just, maintaining or repairing anything that it goes wrong at the property. That's only $20,000 for, per year. That doesn't leave us a lot, like I said. If you just paint an entire building, that's about $5,000. If you, like repair any kind of like leaks in the building, that's also probably close to 5,000, sometimes more than that, depending on what the leak is, coming from. Sometimes it could be like a landscaping issue or whatever, and that ends up being like $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 sometimes. But that doesn't leave us a lot of wiggle room there. The $20,000 for renovation, improvements, maintenance, and cleaning. So we can discuss that, a little bit with the board members after the meeting. In terms of insurance, 21,500. That's a little bit more than what I had, than what we paid for last year. This may be a little bit more for next year. Like I said, insurance rates aren't going down. They're they're not going to get any cheaper than they are today. So that's only going to go up. Supplies, just random materials, needed at the property, like parking stickers and things like that. Sometimes we gotta get. Now, these next 2 items, I'll put a little asterisk on these. That's the garbage and the backflow testing. So the backflow testing I think is good. Like I said, we can make that an association issue. They actually quoted us $900. I just put $1,000 just in case for, you know, random fees or whatever it is. Sometimes, you know, vendors come up with random fees. So I just made that $1,000. And then in terms of the garbage, like I said, if we were to decide to go to a dumpster system, that $483 times 12 is almost $6,000, right, per year added to the association. But people can not have to buy, you know, they don't have to, you know, have a subscription to their own dumpster service, which I think is about usually $100, $100, $200 a month, depending on how many garbage bins they have. So that's kind of the decision that the board here will have to make on that. In terms of reserves in the capital reserve account, because we were over budget, if you look at the very bottom there, the net income, if you add the garbage and the backflow testing, it ended up being about negative 5,000. So I just put $2,000 as the capital reserve into the capital reserve account for next year. But if we were to go by what we went by last year, we have $35,000. I'd like to put $3,500 into the capital reserve account. Electricity, I don't expect to change too much, about $200 a month. So if you look at the expenses grand total for the year, it's at $85,943. Current HOA dues. Then the current HOA dues does not include like late fees and random fees or fines that we charge the owner. So that's at 81,164. So that would make us into a negative budget for next year of about 4,779. Now, like I said, with the garbage, if we decide not to do that, then of course it'll be just about even, you know, there's not going to be too much surplus there. And also there's going to be, you know, not a lot of wiggle room with only $20,000 dedicated to renovation improvements and repairs. So that is pretty much all I have for you guys today. The board members, I think, will have to kind of decide on whether we want to move forward with that, with the garbage dumpsters, or with more fines, or however we're going to address that issue, or, you know, what we're going to do there. Right now, I want to open it up to you guys. Let me know what you guys have faced over the past year. Let me know complaints, what we did well. I like to receive compliments as well, but I'm sure it's mainly going to be concerns that you had over the property over the year. So y'all unmute yourselves. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know what happened. Tell me.
You wanna say something?
Tim, I think you've done a good job.
All right, got a compliment. Thank you, Mr. Mack. Well, what's going on? What's going bad though? Let me know. What can we
Well,
improve on?
my tenants have complained about the garbage situation, and we, you know, it looks like we're trying to get something done there. And it may be that, you know, the dumpster would be the end result of trying to get it. It looks like that's just, if we get the dumpsters over there, we put them as far away as we can, out of sight. And I think that having them out of sight is a big thing.
Okay, like I said, you know, at the end of this meeting, we're going to vote for the board members, and we can discuss this a little bit further.
Right.
Like I said, we can try that fine route for a little while. But the thing is that we can't find the tenants, we can only find the owners. So when we find the owners, then they're gonna have to pass that on to the tenants, and that causes a little bit of, you know, that's always a touchy issue too, you know what I mean? No
Right.
one likes to receive fines. No one likes to give fines, you know what I mean? So, you know, we'll discuss that. Brad
Okay.
just comments, what will we do to keep the dumpster area clean? Well, we do have another a property. I have a property sweeping service, and I know that they previously told us last year to property sweep, and then we didn't use them because actually the property is in pretty good condition. We don't have a lot of trash that's laying around or anything like that. And if we do, I usually go around out there and just kind of pick it up. It's not a lot usually. I think over the past like year, I picked up like a desk that was left and like a chair or something. So it wasn't like a big deal. But that property sweep service is about $700 a month for them to come out once a week. So, you know, that would be what we'd have to do to actually get the dumpster area clean. That was a question from Brad. He texted in. Any other issues, Miss Robin? How's the sale? Are you still selling your unit, or what's going on with it? Okay.
Trying anyway.
Okay.
Can't get this appraiser to give me the appraisal amount, so.
Okay. Mr. Yan, Mr. Dongmin, I know that you had some issues last year. What kind of issues did you have at your property? You'll have to unmute yourself. Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah. Mr. Yan wants to ask what is the monthly income for the what, management fee or something? The
1,000
management fee?
$1,000.
1,000啊，1000块钱。$1,000，1000块
1000
钱。
块。
1000个不是，我是说一个月收的这个整个这个管理费是多少钱？
I'm sorry, I don't understand that.
So the whole management fee, the overall management fee.
$1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month.
OK，
okay.
I know.
Okay. Anybody, Miss Shafiq, how are your tenants doing? Your tenants were the ones kind of complaining that they had to put their the garbage dumpster into the back, or their garbage bin in the back. Any other issues from you guys?
No.
Okay.
No,
Mr.
thanks.
Trammell, anything from you guys over there? How's the termite coming? After the termite service, how's that termite
Yeah,
situation?
we haven't seen any termites. Did a good job. We like that pest control, and you're doing a good job too. So
Thank you, Mr. Trammell.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it. So if there's not any other issues, let's come to a vote on who wants to be on the board next year. So we will have to meet. I'm going to give you guys a caveat that we do have to meet once at least to get the bylaws signed. We have to notarize and sign the bylaws and witness it. So if you do go on the board this year, we will have to schedule a meeting sometime, hopefully within the next couple of weeks here, to get this signed. But other than that, it really isn't that much work. I send out a couple of emails a year, just asking questions, getting y'all's opinions, and getting some votes in. So does anybody want to volunteer? I mean, I don't think Mac would like to be the president again. Yes? Mac as the president. Anybody else want to volunteer? We need 3 members on the board. Mr. Trammell.
I'll be a member.
All right, Mr. Trammell would also like to be on the board. Anybody else? Mr. Bonner, Ms. Rogers, Mr. Dongmin.
Well, if I'm selling mine, I don't think I need to be on the board.
Yeah, we can be on the board.
Ms. Shafiq?
Mm-hmm.
Yay! All right. Mr. Dongmin, would you like to be on the board or no? Well, I think Ms. Shafiq, I think we'll keep it as Ms. Shafiq on the board as well. And actually, I'm going to make Mr. Mack president.
Let me ask this question though.
Shoot.
The person that is buying mine, apparently she's gonna own or occupy it.
Oh,
Would
excellent.
she be able to, you know,
Next
I
year.
guess,
Next year.
okay. All right,
Most people don't want to do this.
yeah, well, some people do.
You know, so I don't know, I'm appreciative of Mr. Mack and Mr. Trammell always being on the board. All right, so that's what we'll have. We'll have Mr. Mack as the president. We'll have Mr. Trammell as, actually, we'll have you as the secretary, Mr. Trammell, because that will be a, you have to sign the new amendments as the secretary, and we will make Ms. Shafiq, Mr. Shafiq, the vice president. Okay?
Okay.
All righty, guys. If there's nothing else, I'm always available via email, text, phone call all the time. So make sure you give me a call. I'm going to end this. We've been recording this the whole time, so we're going to end this recording I'm going to post this online and we'll get you guys out the minutes here within the next couple of weeks. If there's nothing else, guys, thank you guys so much for making this meeting and making Calumet a successful, thriving community. Thank you guys all for your communication and your participation. And we
Thank
will
you.
see you guys next year. And I'll see you, Mr. Mack and Mr. Trammell, soon. We'll get those signatures all together within the next couple of weeks, and we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.
Thanks.